Okay, so now thanks. Sorry, everyone. So again, now I could see that the PowerPoint is now showing. So yeah, so this is my first slide, and saying that my name it's Israel Roman, licensed immigration consultant, and at the same time practicing registered nurse here in Canada, which is I think it would be very important when we talk about how will you be able to get your employer here in Canada. And here are our offices: Nanaimo, British Columbia, and Lipa, Batangas, Philippines. So I've said when you come here, you'll be applying for both the open work permit and the permanent residency. And eligibility would be, yeah, again, your genuine job offer. It has to be a full time and 30 hours per week and able to do the job, which is you need to have your caregiving course or training or something equivalent. So let's say nursing. There is a comment. Do they require experience in caregiving? I am graduate of caregiver, but I do not have related experience. So as long as the caregiving course is TESDA approved, if you're in the Philippines, then yes. And it has to be a recent training. So in preparation, though, it would be good if you take some volunteer work or some other courses as well while you're doing your application, right? So and the caregiving course or experience cannot be more than 5 years ago. And you meet the language level, which is CLB in Ielts, CLB 5. So in Ielts, that would be reading of 4.0, and the rest would be 5.0. So with this one, this would be very attainable. I'm pretty sure everyone will be able to get this score. Good. Next, meet the education requirement. So when we say education requirement, and the meet the language level and the education requirement. These are both required for your permanency application. So this is their eligibility or criteria or requirement. Yes. So for education, it has to be 1 year post-secondary course. So and it has to be equivalent here in Canada. And how do we know if it's equivalent, right? So as a high level overview, if you're in the Philippines right now and graduate high school, so that would only be before the grade 12 was implemented. So that would only be go up to grade 10. And then you have a 2 year degree course. So what would happen is your first year in college, that would be considered your grade 10, grade 11. Your second year in college would be considered your grade 12. So, meaning to say you're still lacking that 1 year post secondary. So, to be safe, it has to be your college degree or your college education should be at least 3 years and are admissible to Canada. So, no criminal offense or misrepresentation. Misrepresentation would be something like you were submitting an application, but you didn't include everyone in the application. You didn't include your spouse or your brother or your sister or your children on the application itself, or the documents that you have provided were not authentic or real. So the other another new thing about this program is that not just you're applying for an open permit and permanent residency, you're also attaching your spouse and your children. So upon submission, upon start of application, your spouse and your children or child needs to be included in that application. And when you get approved, that means everyone gets approved. Everyone will come here all at the same time. So no more waiting for your no. You don't have to wait for more than 2 years to wait for your spouse to get here. So your spouse will get an open work permit. So the difference between this one and yours is that this one would not have any occupation restriction. So your spouse can work anywhere, any job, as long as he's qualified to. But yeah, and your dependent child will have a study permit in order to, and then your child will be studying here while parents are working. With regards to the employers, we'll be tackling that one later on down the presentation. And yes, with regards to the common law partner, yes, as long as we can show that the common law partner is really a common law partner, then yes, that common law would be part of that open work, part of your application, right? So, and of course, your spouse and your child also need to meet the eligibility requirement. So when it comes for permanent residency, so that would be they should be admissible here in Canada. So no criminal offense. So if your spouse has some problems with the law before, then the entire application would be denied. So for the employer, so this would be responsibility of the applicant, but I will show you later on how we are able to help our caregivers come here with employers, even though I'm saying that it is your responsibility to find your employer. Can the employer be my relative here in Canada? Yes, that would be a good way. If your relative here in Canada is looking for help to take care of their kids or your parents or an elderly, then yes, your relative can sponsor you as their caregiver. No problem with that one. We just need to prove that the employer they're able to provide a genuine job offer and able to pay the caregiver. So we have to present their income situation or financial situation. The spouse will not The spouse doesn't need to have there's a question here. Does the spouse need to get IELTS? No, you don't need to have, your spouse doesn't need to have the IELTS. So yeah, so I've said relatives who have children or have elderly parents. So what's the advantage then in joining with us, Roman and Associates Immigration? So the advantage is right now, so for our retainer fee for as the consultant who will be processing your the application for the open work permit, the permanent residency, and then the application for your spouse and your dependent child, we are right now providing 50% off on that one. So, and the immigration fee can be negotiated with the employer, wherein they'll be the one to shoulder it so that it won't be you guys. And it would be easier to negotiate now that the immigration fee is 50% off, right? So, and as I've said, so no additional retainer fee for your spouse or dependents. Usually, retainer's fee would be for the spouse, for the applicant only. And if you have a spouse, there's additional cost. If you have a child, there's additional cost. But for this time around, for if you're joining us if you're joining us after this live stream, then yes, 50% off and no additional fee for your spouse or dependents. As part of joining us, you'll have unlimited IELTS review. So we'll register you to our review class, and you'll have unlimited review sessions on that one. And also, this includes your IELTS exam, so you don't need to worry about paying for your IELTS exam. And at the same time, we will represent you to our Canadian employers. That's why I told you earlier that it's important to know that I am also a registered nurse here in Canada, wherein I have now connections to potential employers or employers coming to us to our office looking for caregivers. So also we once you join our company as our one of our caregivers, we will be advertising your profile as well to our website, to our social media, and again networking. So networking, as I've said, so as a nurse, I'm able to. There are people, our employers come to me asking for, hey, do you have a caregiver? I need help with my parents who are getting discharged from the hospital, or I have or even like staff, my colleague who are looking for nannies as well because they need to come to work in the hospital and needs a nanny. So our credentials. So again, I am a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. So not everyone. So just to make sure that you guys are working safe with your whoever you're getting your advice from. Anyone that gives advice in immigration, Canadian immigration, needs to be licensed with Immigration Consultant of Canada Regulatory Council. They cannot just provide advice, not unless they are your family members. If they're not your family members, then they're not supposed to be doing that one. So they're doing it illegally, kind of thing. And company, I'll show you guys later on how to search for our company in the Canada Business Registry. And finding an employer. So again, we will be helping you because of our Canadian presence here. So yeah. So we are here in Canada. We will be your liaison in terms of finding employers for you. Immediate relative as for the employer, yes, definitely. And we also have a company here called Home is Best Caregiver Services Limited, wherein we provide recruitment for caregivers. So this is our platform for our employers seeking caregivers or looking for caregivers. And then also the other one is our nannies on the block. So let me just show you guys. Okay, I'm just making sure that you guys can see this one as well. Perfect, you can see it. So one of the things to see if your consultant is nope, not that one. Sorry. If your consultant is licensed, so you go to Immigration Consultant of Canada, and then you scroll down, and you'll see in here, learn more, public registry. So you type in the name of your consultant. So for this one would be me. So Roman and first name Israel, and hit search, and you'll see in there that that's my name right there. My status is active, and you can contact me. And that's my license number, R524540. And you can contact me. That's our address here in Nanaimo, BC, Canada. And that's our name of our company. Now, the other one that I have here in my presentation is how do we check for your name? Nope, not that one. Oh, sorry. I lost the link on that one. Let me just check here. There you go. So Canada's business registry. So you go to British Columbia and you type in our company. Okay, that's too many. There you go. So Roman Associates. So this company is a corporation and it's registered. So the other one that I showed you guys, home is best. Okay, so that's our other company that wherein our employers come to our office saying, "Hey, I need caregivers, I need nanny." So that's the company that we use for that one. Now the other thing is, are you in terms of myself? Am I really Israel Roman? So you can type in Israel Roman Naimo and what shows up. So it shows up our business, which is Roman Associates Immigration Services Limited. And you can see that's me right there. And also here, the Nanaimo Hospital donation. So Israel Roman really do exist here in Nanaimo. And that's myself as well with the guest. And there you go, you can read it. So yeah, you can also search Israel Roman. So yeah, so that's the our registration here in British Columbia. So yeah, so I'm hoping that kind of like proves who I am and our company. Okay. Any questions with that one? No. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, so whenever you guys are dealing with agencies, consultants, do not ask the questions, are you legit or scam? Because they'll always say, no, yes, they are legit and that is not a scam, right? So I don't think anyone would be true and honest on that one. So please do your own research. Like I give you some guides on how to research on that one. So immigration consultant of Canada Regulatory Council, and then you have the Canada Business Registry kind of thing to really see if their business is existing. So How much are we really talking about? Okay, so for caregivers, the lowest wage here in Canada averages $12.50, with a high of 24.50, a median of 16.50. And for a nanny, it's a bit lower, but decent. So lowest would be 11.32, and then median would be 14 and 11 cents, or the highest would be $20. So how much does that one would really be for a month or a year? So let's say you're a nanny and the median wage is 14.11, so that's what your employer did will be giving you. So 14.11 times 40 hours per week, so that would give you 564 per week. For 4 weeks, so or in a month, that would give you $2,256. And for a year, then that would be $27,000. So it might not seem a lot, but if you convert that one to Philippine peso right now, that would be almost a million for a year for looking after a child or being a nanny. So, but if you were to look after a elderly, it would be higher. So it would be more than you'll be earning more than a million for sure. And this one's only straight time hours. It doesn't include your overtime hours. Is it taxable? Definitely, it is taxable, and you'll see that your tax goes to somewhere, right? You can see it because your if you're bringing in a child, education would be free until until grade 12. So that's where your my tax goes to is education and for health. So in terms of how much would this cost me as a an applicant? So our administration fee for all the work that we'll be doing would be 48,000. So that would be due upon submission of your application. And again, by joining our by joining this our company, our caregiver pool right after this live stream, this would include your unlimited IELTS review, your IELTS exam, and your the retainer fee for the consultant would be 50% off and no additional fee for your spouse or child. And your application costs, your visa would be 8,925. Your application processing fee, which is 19,250. This one right here, your application, your this is for your permanent residency. Your 19,250. That's your permanent residency. Your 8,900. That would be for your work permit, and then your medical exam, and then your biometrics. And then later on, once you have completed your 2 year work, then you'll have to pay 17,150. So total cost would be 110, but you're getting 947,000. So that's nothing, I think. Now, if you are going to add your spouse, then this would be your spouse for the processing fee would have an additional 550, 490. That would be for their permanent. This would be for the 490. That would be for later on after that 2 years of working as a caregiver, and then the other 550 is that's the initial one, and then for your dependent child 150, and then of course your spouse will need to have a medical exam as well, and everyone in the family would need to have the biometrics. So this one right here is for your additional family members, and then the retainer fee that would be negotiated with the employer. 50%, and and there won't be any additional for your spouse or dependent would be 2,000. Those are the prices right there. So again, this would be if you have additional family members. But if we go back, this would be the sole applicant, right? So administration fee of 48,000 once you register with us. And again, by registering with us, you'll have your unlimited review IELTS, your IELTS exam, your 50% off on the retainer's fee that the employers will be paying. So that will be good for the employers. That would be a good motivation for them to hire you. And at the same time, we will be, since again we are here in Canada, we'll be and our employers are knocking on our office doors. You'll The employers are here. We are able to easily liaise with them and connect the employers to you guys. And that's how we will get you guys an employer. I think it would be hard to get an employer if you're not here in Canada. Let's say you're in the Philippines and you're trying to get an employer because you don't know what's happening, right? And how would they connect with you? By joining our team right here, the employers do come to come, and they do look for caregivers like you. So, and of course, I cannot show everyone that's needing a caregiver work that lives in the Philippines, right? I need to make sure, I need to know, I need to have a pool of my own kind of thing, so that these are my caregivers, and yeah, and I present it to my employers. Okay, total amount in pesos or dollars. Okay, so on this page right now, on the right hand side, so that would be in pesos right now. I did convert that one to 35 pesos and now 35 pesos per Canadian dollar. So for the administration fee, yes, that is 48,000. And so you once we have considered that yes, you are qualified, then we can start the application. And that's we won't be taking your 48,000 not until we know that you can be a caregiver here in Canada, right? So if you don't have any caregiving course or experience or equivalent, even though you have 48,000, we won't be accepting you, unfortunately, because you'll just be wasting your money. Right? And we don't want that one. We would only be accepting applicants that we know that will pass the application, right? Will qualify for this program. And is it one-time payment? Unfortunately, yes. The 48,000 would be a one-time payment. How about the processing time? So the processing time right now, because this is it is an open work permit plus a permanent residency application. The processing time right now would be more than 6 months. We're looking at between 9 months to 1 year. And the reason being is because Canada would like to make sure that once you are approved, you are a qualified permanent resident, really, right? Before the application was only for a work permit, so it was quick. It was I have I have clients here before. I have clients here who had their who had their work permit approved for less than 2 months, but that won't be the case this time around because this one again would include your permanent residency application. So what is the process then? So the first one is, so we have to check your eligibility, right? So with this one, you don't have to pay anything on this one. It's just making sure that we can proceed on the next step. Next, we have checked, and yes, you do qualify. You have your caregiving experience and whatnot. Then we will send you an email with all the details and our payment mode as well, and bank information, and so that we'll start the application process. I did mention our bank as well, so just make sure if you're not, for those people who are not going with our office, and you're paying someone, an agency as well, or someone acting as a consultant, just make sure that you ask them that I would rather have my money transferred to your bank account or to your business bank account, and try to avoid paying in Western Union, especially if it's outside of Philippines, right? You're sending it elsewhere outside of Philippines, because that's a bit fishy right there. So yeah, it's okay if you're paying cash and it's in an office, or you're going into, let's say in the Philippines, you're paying in an office, then that's fine, right? You know that there's an office really, or you're paying it in a bank or into their bank account. So yeah, you can at least you can trace it, right? And then next would be your ECE, or your evaluation credentials. Yes, evaluation of your credentials. So making sure that you have that 1 year post-secondary course, and then prepare the documents for submission, and then submit to IRCC, or Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship Canada, and you fly to Canada. With If you have your spouse as part of your application and your child, then the three of you will be coming here. You'll be working as a caregiver. Your spouse will then be looking for jobs here, which there's tons of jobs here for sure. And then your child will now be going to school, and school here starts in September. Hi, sir. I'm an RN, but not currently working in hospital, and I do have caregiver experience way back 2010-11. Am I still qualified and qualified to apply? Yes. If you are on, let me just currently working in hospital, not currently working in hospital. So it's hard to say right now for that one. So just submit your resume, your detailed resume, and we'll take a look at that one. And if it's a go, then we'll let you know that it's a go. If not, then unfortunately, it's not, and we will tell you what you can do in order to come here. But there's other ways. If caregiving is not for you at this time, there's always the express entry, or the study permit, which I'm sorry, unfortunately, I won't be talking about that one here in this presentation, but on our different live stream, I'll yeah, we have a live stream on study permit, and we'll have a live stream on express entry as well. But yeah, but I worked as a dialysis nurse for a year, so yeah, so it's gonna be I don't want to say yes or no to you at the moment, because I want to see I want to give you an accurate answer. So if you submit your resume, then yeah, we'll let you know for sure. Just scrolling on the comments, see if I missed any questions. So employers, yeah. So again, finding employers, yes, we will help you find your employer. We will be assisting you finding employer, and our presence here in Canada would be very helpful for you, because we are your face here. We are your face here to your employer, to your future employer. So yeah, so we will be, and again, we have employers here coming and asking for caregivers such as like you guys, right? So And I live in a, if you search Nanaimo or Vancouver Island, you will find out that Vancouver Island is a retirement place. So there's tons of elderly that are looking for caregivers. They want to stay at home, and they don't want to be placed in a residential facility, or that would be a home for the aged in the Philippines. So rather than going in that setting, they would rather stay at home and be safe with a caregiver. Is there an age limit? So Canada doesn't have an age limit. So we don't look at age, we don't look at religion, we don't look at your face. We, as long as you can do the job, you can get hired, right? So yes, no age limit on that one. Now, why do they say we don't look at the face? Because usually, yeah, so when I first started here in Canada, someone would say to me, why does this resume have picture? Because I work in the hospital and we look at hiring process. We hire nurses. I hire nurses here, and they tell me, well, why does your resume have picture? And my answer to that one is, I'm pretty sure that resume, no offense, is from a Filipino. It's a Filipino because there's a picture, there's a religion, there's a marital status, which typically here a resume doesn't show those things because that is a form of discrimination, right? So resume here, if it's a yeah, there won't be any picture, there won't be marital status, there won't be any religion kind of thing, right? So that's just going off topic, but yes, so no age limit. I have 2008 caregiver certificate would still be valid. If that's the only one, 2008, since it's already 2020, that's 12 years ago. It won't be. It's not a recent caregiving course. So, but if you want us to look at your resume fully, just send your resume to our for eligibility check. My last nursing job was 2013 for 13 years, 6 years in ICU. Am I qualified 2013? That is not a recent experience, so it might not be qualified. No. So, what's the next step? I know I've showed you guys a lot of things. So, what's the next step to join our team and avail of that promo or our 50% registration for 50% on our retainer's fee, the IELTS, the free IELTS exam, and finding an employer. So you please comment your email address and your contact number, please. And then we will also send you a summary of this presentation so that you can go back to the presentation on your convenient time. You will have to send your resume to this email address, which is clientcare@romancanadianimmigration.ca. So once you have submitted your resume with the subject line live stream July 17, 2020, then we would know that what you're asking for is kind of like you're asking for us to check your eligibility and that you're very much interested and that you're committed. And so upon submission of your resume and us checking your eligibility and we find that you're eligible, then we send you another email about it and the next steps as well. And that would be the start of the registration or start of the application. Yeah, then that's how I've said I was going too fast. So eligible, if you're eligible, then start the register or start the application. So please, again, comment, say your email address or your contact number, and then we'll send a summary. And then send us your detailed resume, please, on the address in there. I'm typing out the address in the comment section as well to make it easier. Client care at Roman Canadian Immigration. That's it. So that's the last slide for our presentation. But I'll be here still for any more comments. Okay. Any more comments? So yeah, thank you for submitting your your email address and phone numbers. Is there anyone there that would like me to repeat any of the slides? Yeah, so please share this in the information that you have heard. And again, just showing you the process right here. So eligibility check, and then start of the application, ECE, prepare the documents, application, and then fly to Canada. Any more questions? Don't forget to comment your email address, please, and your contact number. And please submit your detailed resume to client care at Roman Canadian Immigration.ca, and with the subject line live stream July 17, 2020. And once we figure out that you are eligible, then we'll go ahead and start the process. Again, we won't be asking you to register and pay that 48,000 if you're not eligible, right? So yeah, so we have to make sure first that you're eligible. And again, after, please include live stream July 17 so that we know that you are, guys, when you submit your resume, you guys are submitting your resume for this live stream, wherein I did say that you're getting a free IELTS review, unlimited IELTS review, your IELTS exam paid for, and you're, as part of our pool of candidates, pool of caregivers, we are representing you to the employers that are knocking on our doors, so, I mean, like on our office, and or just talking to me, asking me, do you have any caregivers? And that's why I still continue on to be a nurse here, so that I have that connection with the employers. Again, I think it would be hard if you are in the Philippines and try to look for employers. Yeah, you can search it online. You might be, but it's there's a big time difference as well and whatnot, right? So right now, started this live stream 7:30 p.m. Philippine time. That would be 4:30 a.m. here, right? So yeah. Sir, if I may, current application po kami as study permit, open work permit po ako. Pwede ba mag-apply sa program? So I need more details on this one. You can, if you want, you can call me. You can call me on WhatsApp, and that would be my number. Okay, I think that's it for now, and hope to see you guys on our next live stream. And that could be either the same live stream or the study permit live stream or live stream about express entry. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. No, not that one. And have a good night.